Test 1 2. Test 1 2. Test 1 2. Test 1 2. Test 1 2.
Were you just tapping the mic?
Yeah.
Okay. I heard it plain as day on there. Okay.
It takes like
Test 1 2. Test 1 2.
What's your volume at?
Test 1 2.
High. I'll say turn it up a little bit more. If you're in the restaurant.
Where was that UI?
There.
Test 1 2. Test 1 2.
systems that the churches uses, and we can probably get rid of that entire panel and just go fully digital.
Yeah.
Do a whole computer.
Yeah.
Or you can get an even smaller one. Yeah. This
All
stuff
right.
is old. Been in place since 2016.
Like everything else.
Yeah.
It's crazy to think that that's old, man.
Things age really quickly.
Literally.
My 2-year-old phone, iPhone was too old. Supposedly. So I just got a new one. That's how quickly things are being replaced. I'm afraid cars are gonna be like that here soon. Yeah, at some point we won't even own our cars, we'll just lease them.
That's what they want. They want us to own nothing. Like it.
Yeah. Sorry, I like driving.
Testing, testing. I didn't see this AJ device in the program. So
Testing, testing.
Hey. Hey, what? Yeah. You ran into another error message? It's been hell trying to get hold of these people to just respond in a timely manner. Yeah.
Testing.
Oh, that's a new one. You can sign in now? Hold on, let me.
Yeah, I can't get into shit.
Let me see if I can connect these two to my phone. 1 second. You got City Hall open? That's a new one. I haven't heard about this one yet. Unless it just completely went down.
testing, testing. Testing, testing.
Come on, man.
Where'd you get this from?
That's when I signed in right now.
That's cool. Try to open a program, whatever program you open.
Testing, testing.
Testing, testing. Testing, testing. Test 1 2 1 2.
Testing, testing. Testing, testing. Test 1 2 1 2.
So this issue started occurring. The AJ was occurring after my last visit.
No, that was that's always been low since
The
Crestron
stream.
was reprogrammed last year by
Okay, so the streaming is always low, but the teams.
the team thing is new.
Okay.
Why are you trying to sneak up on me for?
Because I thought it'd be funny.
You know, somebody got hurt yesterday.
You think you can hurt me?
No, like,
That's what I
I
thought.
wouldn't hurt you, but you could freak me out to where I fall and trip and break my ankle and it's
Workers'
rusty
comp,
leg.
right? Workers' comp. Wouldn't that be great? Have Tyler take over the department. You would be just giving orders from your bed. Boop, 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 boop.
My bed.
Yeah.
You think I want to lay in bed all day long?
I do.
What are you doing here? You got a budget meeting?
No, we just come every, like, I have to drop off money
Money?
from, yeah.
You have
from the
money?
center. No, you have money. Public Works has money.
I don't.
Parks got money. Me? I don't got money.
What's in your big ass this year?
Nothing. My CIP was $55,000, Jack.
What was that for?
The cameras that you quoted me and some automatic bay doors.
Automatic bay doors?
Yeah, for the center. Because some of the doors just kind of like go up and then they come down. And they come up.
Weird. First
Testing, testing.
that's fixed now, and now we're trying to fix the volume on YouTube.
Testing, testing.
Normal conversation.
Oh gosh.
Test, test.
Let there be light. Joe, did you log in down there?
Okay. Have fun. Have a good day. See you in like a week and a half. I'm on vacation. You're gonna get emails soon. Don't worry.
Where to?
Guatemala.
Oh, fun. Must be nice.
It is.
Testing, testing.
You just went somewhere. Didn't you?
Las Vegas.
Yeah. You're talking about all the fun stuff.
Nah.
Testing, testing.
That sounds louder. Is your volume
Test,
louder?
test.
No, I think it's the same. I think. Testing, testing. Test, 1, 2, test, 1, 2.
That sounds quieter, right? Yeah, that was quiet. You just turn it down or what? Yeah, I'm adjusting this level here. And these levels here. Oh, that's to go into the software then?
I think that is, yeah.
Because there's USB.
Testing 1 2, testing 1 2. Testing 1 2, testing 1 2. Testing 3 4, testing 3 4.
Test 1 2 3.
All right. Are you trying to fool me? Throw me off? Do I need to switch? Can I switch? All right. 10:01. We are ready to start with the January 14th, 2026 License and Variance Board meeting. I am Richard Garland, serving as chair this morning, and to my left is Eric Mormon with the fire department, and to his left is Andrea Worthy. We'll make up the board that are hearing your variance request this morning. With that, we'll get started with the first item on the agenda, which is a privilege license change of agent at, let me just read this. LIC 2025-055 privilege license, agent of change package, beer and wine Sunday sales at 540 Concord Road Southeast, Smyrna, Georgia. OHM Enterprises Incorporated, doing business as Sitco Quick Food Mart, with Shilpa Karig Patel as agent. Is he present? Oh, if you would step forward to the microphone, please. If you would state your name.
Shilpa Chirag Patel.
Thank you very much. And you are applying to be the agent for packaged beer and wine sales at the Quick Mart?
Yes.
Okay. Can you tell us your background in being a licensed agent? Have you been this before?
For me,
Yes, ma'am.
this is first time.
First time. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Can you explain the training that you received in order to be able to do this?
Workshop, right? Yeah, it's a workshop.
Okay.
The RASS workshop.
Okay. All right. And what procedures will the store have in place, and will you be enforcing to ensure that alcohol sales are limited to those 21 and over?
Yeah. Our employees checked the IDs for before they sell the beer, wine, and tobacco and everything. So all employees are trained to sell the business.
Okay. Is that built into your POS system, or is that done independently of your POS system?
Means
The
what,
point of
sir?
sale. So is it built into where you register as you're going through that? Is it built into that process where a queue comes up, or is it something that they're just going to have to remember?
It's going
Oh,
to.
it does, like, you're asking if the register, like, pings them to check?
Yes.
I believe it does, and they've been our employees for years. She's actually inheriting this from the passing of my father. So we've kept the same employees. So
Okay.
They know what's happening.
Okay. How many employees do you have at the food mart?
Right now is 4 employees.
Okay. And how many hours a week will you be at the location?
Me,
Yes, ma'am.
around every day, 3 to 4 hours to in the stores.
Okay. What training programs will you implement to ensure that those employees remain up to speed on what the alcohol laws are in Smyrna and the process of selling?
We do kind of have like a weekly, like informal meeting with them where we kind of, ask them and check them. Also with the RASS workshop, we signed up for the guy that comes and does like random checks. So he even keeps us updated. We haven't had any slips in a very long time. I want to say like a couple years ago, like one employee decided not to check it. And I remember my dad was alive then. I remember my dad got the text from the guy who does the workshop saying that employee felt so bad. He just, so, and they know that if they slip, we're going to have to reconsider if they get to keep working there. So they know.
Okay. Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I realize you're not the agent, but perhaps we need her name for the record.
Yeah, that's what I was.
My name is Mehavi Chirag Patel. I'm
The daughter
her
from
daughter. I've been helping her kind of figure things out after my dad passed.
President of operations.
Basically.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay. We have the information that you've passed your background check, so that's not an issue. The recommendation from staff is that we would approve this, so I'll entertain a motion to approve the change of agent.
I motion to approve license 2025-055, a change of agent for a packaged beer and wine and Sunday sales at 540 Concord Road. OHM Enterprises, Inc., doing business as the Citgo Quick Food Market, with Shilpa Chirang Patel as the agent.
Yes.
We have a motion and a second. Please vote. Now, I will tell you, and you probably know this, but City of Smyrna takes this very seriously. It's good that you have the secret shopper program, but our police force will also be doing sting operations from time to time to verify that businesses are incorporating the proper procedures to make sure that we're following the laws. So thank you very much. Good luck.
Thank you.
Sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
Item B on the agenda is V25-109, public hearing for a variance request to allow encroachment into the city's 75-foot impervious surface setback on land lot 525 at 3344 Dunn Street. Kelly Robinson is the applicant. There are actually 3 variances that we will hear, and we will get the background on each of those. If you'll do that now, please, Ms. Caitlin.
Just move this real quick. Somebody from court must like it on the other side.
I guess we should also make sure, is Ms. Robinson in the, okay, awesome, thank you. In the age of technology, sometimes we don't meet face to face until we get into this room, so we'd like to know that they're here. All right. You ready, Ms. Crow?
Yes, thank
All right.
you. So good morning. Caitlin Crow, Land Development Services Coordinator for Community Development here in Smyrna. So as you mentioned, I do have 3 variances on this property. So like you just mentioned, I'll go ahead and read them all together just to keep it a little bit more concise, and then you will vote on those separately. So I just do ask that the applicant stay until the very end for these 3 before leaving, since they are all voted separately. So as you mentioned, that first variance is V25-109 to allow encroachment into the city's 75-foot impervious surface setback. The second variance will be V25-110 to reduce the front setback from 35 feet to 30.1 feet. And then the third variance on this property is V25-111 to reduce the northern side setback from 12 feet to 5 feet. So this subject property is on the west side of Dunn Street, and it does have a creek that bisects the rear of the property. That means that it is drastically impacted by the state's 25-foot stream buffer, and then both the city's 50-foot undisturbed stream buffer and the city's 75-foot impervious surface setback. Thus, really, any type of construction on this property would merit some type of variance due to that. The house was actually built back in 1954. It was platted back in 1954 as well, which was prior to the stream buffer ordinance, which wasn't implemented till 2005. That is why the majority of the home is currently in those buffers. But that does mean that any expansion, including the one proposed, will encroach even further into those stream buffers. So what the applicant is proposing today is to remove an existing carport and replace it with a 2-story addition that will now add a 2-car parking garage on the bottom, and then on the top floor will be additional living space in the form of a bedroom and bathroom. That upstairs will be accessed via an internal staircase, so there'll be no separation from that structure. It will also be accessed via the existing driveway that is there today. So because they are going to be, again, further encroaching into that stream buffer, they are going to have to require some mitigation for the 600 square feet that will be in those buffers. They are proposing to install 4 flow wells in the property, which will be directly behind the new addition. Our engineering department has reviewed this means of mitigation and are supportive of the method. So we believe that, community development rather, believes that the hardship is not self-created, as the buffers existed prior to the house being built, but were not enacted at the time. The most logical area for this addition is in the same location that the carport is, and that existing driveway is also already there. Similar setback variances have already been approved in the area, Just a couple are 3480 Dunn Street back in 2006, 3448 Dunn Street in 2013, and 3149 Dunn Street in 2024. So as you can see, there's a precedence for these types of variances in the area. So after reviewing these variance requests, staff does recommend your approval with the following stipulations. We do have 4 on this one. The first is our standard, that approval of the variances are conditioned upon substantial compliance with the site plan and mitigation plan submitted with the variance application. Number 2, an as-built survey shall be submitted prior to foundation pour due to the northern side property line. Number 3, a stormwater inspection and maintenance agreement shall be completed and recorded with the Cobb County Superior Court prior to issuance of the building permit. And number 4, a stormwater as-built certification statement shall be submitted to community development for approval prior to issuance of the certificate of completion. And I know that was a lot, so I can answer any questions if you have any.
The house as it exists was already or became subject to the stream buffer, but you also have the addition that's going to be impacting the 75-foot stream buffer, is that?
Yes, the 75-foot impervious surface setback, as well as the setbacks, the northern side, as well as the front setback, just because they are going to be enlarging that, what was where the carport was, it's going to be enlarged a little bit, so it will have more of an impact.
Okay.
And I should mention, I also have Clara Hodges from the engineering department here, if you do have questions specifically about the
We have
mitigation.
questions.
Okay, all right.
Do we have any questions for Ms. Crowe? All right.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do we have any questions for Ms. Hodges while she's here?
No.
All right, we'll let her
No.
go this time. Stay around. Ms. Robinson, could you step to the microphone, please? You can come too. If you would state your name and your relation to the property, please.
Kelly Robinson, owner.
Owner, okay.
Scott Robinson, owner.
Okay, awesome. All right, you guys have heard the background that Ms. Crowe has provided. Is there anything that you'd like to add to that?
Nothing.
No, you good? There were 4 stipulations that she mentioned. Do you understand those 4 stipulations and agree to adhere to those?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Are there any questions for the owners? Okay, I would encourage you to sit right there because we're going to do this really rapid fire once we get to the next 2, but don't go too far. Feel free to have a seat. Thank you. This is a public hearing. If there's anyone here who'd like to speak for or against variance request V25-019, please do so at this time. Hearing none, we'll entertain a motion.
I motion to approve V25-109, a variance request to allow encroachment into the city's 75-foot impervious surface setback and land lot 525 at 3344 Dunn Street. Kelly Robinson, the applicant.
We have a motion and a second. Please vote. And that motion passes unanimously. Next item on the agenda is V25-01-110, a variance request to reduce the front setback from 35 feet to 30.1 feet on land lot 525 at 3344 Dunn Street. Kelly Robinson, the owner. Ms. Crowe, is there any additional background that we need to hear on this request?
Not at this time.
As the owners, is there any additional information that you'd like to provide? Are there any questions for either Ms. Crowe or the owners as it relates to this request?
No.
The same 4 stipulations that applied to the first also apply to this. You agreed to the first, you agreed to this? Okay, thank you. This is a public hearing. If there's anyone here who'd like to speak for or against the variance request V25-110, please do so at this time. Hearing none, we'll entertain a motion.
I motion to approve V25-110, a variance request to reduce the front setback from 35 feet to 30.1 feet in land lot 525 at 3344 Dunn Street. Kelly Robinson, the applicant.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Please vote. That motion passes unanimously. Next item on the agenda is variance request V25-111, reduce the northern side setback from 12 feet to 5 feet on land lot 525 at 3344 Dunn Street. Kelly Robinson is the owner. Ms. Crowe, is there any additional information we need for this request?
No, there's not.
Any questions for Ms. Crowe?
No.
We're still going to leave Ms. Hodges out of this?
Yes.
Okay. Any questions for the owners related to this request?
No.
Is there any information that you guys would like to add based on this one? The same 4 stipulations apply to this. You agree to those. Thank you very much. This is a public hearing. If there's anyone here who'd like to speak for or against this request, please do so at this time. Hearing none, we'll entertain a motion.
I motion to approve V25-111, a variance request to reduce the northern side setback from 12 feet to 5 feet in land lot 525 at 3344 Dunn Street, Kelly Robinson, the applicant.
We have a motion and a second. Please vote. And that motion passes unanimously. Thank you all very much. Next item on the agenda is variance request V25-120, allow accessory structure size above 25% of primary dwelling on land lot 688 at 2000 Oakdale Court. Ensign Ambriz is the applicant. Thank you. Ms. Crowe, could you give us the background? This will be a series of 6 variances that were here on this property. So, Ms. Crowe, could you give us the background on all those, please?
Yes. Again, Caitlin Crowe, Community Development. So, yes, there are 6. However, 2 of them are being withdrawn. I'll go over all of them, of course. But so the 4 that we're actually going to be hearing and voting on today starts with the V25-120 to allow us accessory structure size above 25% of the primary dwelling. Then we have V25-121 to allow for a second accessory structure. 3 is V25-122 to reduce the driveway setback from 5 feet to 3.7 feet. And then lastly, we have V25-123 to reduce the western side setback from 10 feet to 3.7 feet. So this property should feel familiar to you. This board actually saw this property back in 2023 when the applicants first purchased the property and did the original renovation to the structure. So at the time, they were granted 2 variances. The first was for a front setback reduction for a building addition, which has since been completed. And the second was for a 6-foot wooden privacy fence that surrounds the property. So this property is in kind of an interesting location. It's located at the corner of Oakdale Road and Oakdale Court. So as I'm sure the board is familiar, Oakdale Road is a very, very busy roadway, which is why that original variance was granted for that, for the fence. So that's fairly important here because that fence is actually going to block most of this from view. What the applicants are proposing is a new detached garage that will be in the far rear of the property, as far from the corner of, or the intersection corner as you can get. They will be expanding the existing driveway to access that. The existing shed that was placed on the property just a couple years ago will actually be moved closer to that. So again, it will not be from view from either Oakdale Road or Oakdale Court. So one of the variances is for a driveway setback reduction. So the driveway at the road actually is at 5 feet, which meets our current code. But in order to access the back and keep it in line with the detached garage proposed location, they are looking to go further, or I guess closer to that side setback. That fence, again, is important here because there is a gate currently there that will be blocking that from view. So as far as the public's concerned as they're walking by, it does meet code in that front area. So just kind of keep that in mind as there will be no visibility of any of these encroachments. So the existing property also is on septic, which really limits the buildable area on the property, which is why they did choose to put it in that far corner within the 10-foot side setback. However, because the septic tank was kind of a cause for concern for staff, they have already received their approval from Cobb Douglas Health for the septic tank in this area. No additional improvements to the septic are required for this since there will be no plumbing of any kind in the structure. So the structure itself is beneath our R15 standards of 2,000 square feet. If it were at the 2,000, they wouldn't need a variance to increase it above 25%. So the hardship is not self-created. Back when they did the renovation, they did bring it closer, but again, it's just not quite at that 2,000. The house was originally built back in 1952, so it is a bit on the small side. Especially in 1952, the two-car garage was not a standard at that time, so this garage will also provide much-needed storage, covered parking for the applicant's antique car collection, as well as some personal trailers that are used in the back. Again, this will take all of that outside of the public view and keep it behind their fence, so it'll kind of clean up the front yard as well. So lastly, the accessory structure, each lot is allowed one. With the addition of the garage with the shed that's already there, the variance is required. However, the garage is strictly going to be for parking, whereas the shed will be continued to use for lawn equipment, any yard tools, and anything like that to continue to upkeep the property. Because they are very different uses, staff are supportive of that request as well. So after review of all of these applications, staff is supportive of each of the four. I will mention there are two that will be withdrawn. The shed in its current form is non-conforming. It's both in the street side setback and the rear accessory structure setback. However, the applicant has agreed to move that closer to the detached garage, which eliminates both of those variances, and that's why you're withdrawing them today. So again, after review of the variance application, staff is supportive of those four requests and does recommend your approval with the following four stipulations. So the first is our standard. Approval of the requested variances shall be conditioned upon substantial compliance with the site plan and elevations submitted with the variance application. Number two, the shed shall be moved out of the rear accessory structure setback and street side setback prior to the issuance of the certificate of completion for the detached garage. Number three, no windows are permitted on the western wall of the detached garage. The structure shall be constructed of metal. Wood construction is prohibited unless the wood is properly fire rated, and that is because it is closer than 5 feet to the side property line, which does trigger the fire requirements. And then lastly is number four, a driveway apron to Cobb County specs shall be installed at the current driveway entrance along Oakdale Court. The former driveway concrete apron along Oakdale Court must be replaced with high back curb and gutter. And that is per the Public Works Interim Director due to the fact that it is partially in the right-of-way. And if there's any work that needs to be happening in that area, he wants to make sure that it is to our specs. So with that, I can answer any questions on any of those four.
Has any of this, the variances that they are applying for, has any of this work, other than the structure being in place, been done already, or is this all to be done?
The shed is on place, but no, none of the work has been done. The only sections that are currently there that are shown on the site plan, besides the house itself, is the existing driveway that is 5 feet from the side property line and that shed that will be moved.
Okay.
The rest of it has yet to be done.
Okay. Any questions from Ms. Crowe? All right, thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Ambrose? Good morning. If you would just state your name for
My name is
the
Vincent
record.
Ambrose.
Okay, and what's your relation to the property?
I'm the owner.
The owner of the property? Okay, great. How long have you been there?
About 2 years now.
2? Okay, awesome. You heard the background that Ms. Crowe provided. Is there any other information that you'd like to offer for our consideration?
I think she covered up pretty well.
All right, all right. Do we have any questions for Mr. Ambrose?
I do. I just want to make sure that you understand the stipulation from, or it's not, actually not a stipulation, but the comment from our Public Works Director that, you know, your stamped concrete stuff looks really good out there, and that's allowed, but that if they have to come through and do any improvements at any time, you know.
Not a problem.
Yeah, they're not going to be able to build it back to that standard.
Yeah, that's not a problem.
Okay, thank you.
All right. 4 stipulations that Ms. Crowe mentioned in association with these requests, and I'll ask you each time with these as we vote on them, but you agree to adhere to these stipulations that she mentioned?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Very good. If there are no further questions, we will open the public hearing on this first request. You feel free to have a seat on that front row right there. We're going to call you up a couple more times. This is a public hearing. If there's anyone here who'd like to speak for or against V25120, please do so at this time. Hearing none, we'll entertain a motion.
I motion to approve V25-120, a variance request to allow accessory structure size above the 25% of the primary dwelling in land lot 688 at 2000 Oakdale Court. Ensign Ambrose is the applicant.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Please vote. And that motion passes unanimously. Next item on the agenda is variance request V25-121, allow secondary accessory structure on land lot 688 at 2000 Oakdale Court. Ensign Ambrose is the applicant. Ms. Crowe, is there any additional background we need to hear on this request?
No, there's not.
Look at her, see what she's doing. She's bringing up the cute little girl to try to make us change our minds. Good morning. Any additional background we need to hear on this? No. No. Any questions for Ms. Crowe?
No.
All right. Any additional questions for the owner?
No.
All right. Anything you want to add on this request? Same four stipulations apply. You agree to adhere to all of them. All right. Thank you very much. This is a public hearing. If there's anyone here who'd like to speak for or against V25-121, please do so at this time. Hearing none, we'll entertain a motion.
I motion to approve V25-121, a variance request to allow a second accessory structure in land lot 688 at 2000 Oakdale Court. Ensign Ambrose is the applicant.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Please vote.
Not letting me vote either, Jill. I vote in the positive.
All right. Indicate you approve by raising your right hand. That's 3 in the approval column. That motion passes unanimously. The next item on the agenda is variance request V25-122, reduce the driveway setback from 5 feet to 3.7 feet on land lot 688 at 2000 Oakdale Court. Ensign Ambrose is the applicant. Ms. Crowe, any additional information on this?
No, there's not.
Are there any questions for Ms. Crowe related to this request?
No.
To the owners, do you have anything you'd like to add to this request? Same 4 stipulations apply, and you understand those and agree to adhere to them. Thank you very much. This is a public hearing. If there's anyone present who would like to speak for or against this variance request, please do so at this time. Hearing none, we'll entertain a motion.
I motion to approve V25-122, a variance request to reduce the side setback from 5 feet to 3.7 feet in land lot 688 at 2000 Oakdale Court. Ensign Ambrose is the applicant.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Please indicate your approval by raising your right hand. That's 3 in the affirmative. That motion passes. Next item on the agenda is variance request V25-123, reduce the western side setback from 10 feet to 3.7 feet on land lot 688 at 2000 Oakdale Court. Ensign Ambrose is the applicant. Ms. Crowe, any additional background that we need to hear on this request?
Not at this time.
Any questions for Ms. Crowe related to this variance request? To the owners, the same 4 stipulations apply. You agree to adhere to those as it relates to this request as well. All right. This is a public hearing. If there's anyone here who'd like to speak for or against this request, please do so at this time. Hearing none, we'll entertain a motion.
I motion to approve V25-123, a variance request to reduce the western side setback from 10 feet to 3.7 feet in land lot 688 at 2000 Oakdale Court. Ensign Ambrose, the applicant.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. We're still not functioning, so we'll raise the right hand. In approval, that's 3 in the affirmative. Thank you very much. Jill, how do you want us to do 24 and 25 since they've been withdrawn? Do we just need to make a motion to withdraw? Okay, all right. Next item on the agenda is variance request V25-124, reduce the street side setback for a shed on land lot 688 at 2000 Oakdale Court. Ensign Ambrose is the applicant. At the request of staff, we'll entertain a motion to withdraw this request.
I motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Please vote.
Oh, actually, it's just one.
Approved.
Okay.
Next item on the agenda is variance request V25-125, reduce the accessory structure rear setback for a shed on land lot 688 at 2000 Oakdale Court. Ensign Ambrose is the applicant. At the request of staff, this variance is being withdrawn. Do we have a motion to approve the withdrawal?
I motion.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Please vote. All in the affirmative. That motion passes. Thank you guys very much. Have a great day. Next item on the agenda is variance request V26 001. Happy New Year. Allow encroachment into the city's 50-foot undisturbed stream buffer on land lot 458 at 1169 Queensgate Drive. Jason Abdu is the applicant. Jason, how are you doing? Ms. Crow, could we get the background on this? And there are 3 variances that Mr. Abdu is applying for this morning. So could we get the background on them, please?
Yes, absolutely. Again, Caitlin Crow, Community Development. So, yes, as you mentioned, there are 3 on this one. The first was the one that you read out. It took me a second when I did 2026 for that one, too. So this is the first technical one we have for this year. So this variance is V26-001 to allow encroachment into the city's 50-foot undisturbed stream buffer. The second variance is V26-002 to allow encroachment into the city's 75-foot impervious surface setback. And then lastly, we have V26-003 to reduce the eastern side setback from 5 feet to 4.5 feet. So this property is located on the north side of Queensgate Drive, which is right near the entrance to the King Valley at Vining subdivision. So there is a creek, not on this property, but directly adjacent to it to the east, which severely impacts this property. Since those buffers do go 75 feet out from the edge of the stream, this property is impacted by both the 50 and 75 foot. So the existing property does house a 2-story single-family home, and the applicant is looking to extend an existing screened-in porch a little bit further towards the back. They are looking to keep it in line with the home, which does slightly angle towards the eastern portion of the side setback, which is why they are encroaching about 1/2 foot into the side setback for this addition. Additionally, because of those stream buffers, they are going to be encroaching into both the 50-foot and 75-foot a little bit more than what is existing today. So just like one of the previous variances we listened to this morning was that this home was built back in 2001 and platted back in 1999, which was, again, prior to our stream buffer ordinance from 2005. Thus, majority of this home is already in those buffers. So again, just like the last variances, anything that was going to be added to this property would encroach further. Thus, the hardship is not self-created. So the applicant will mitigate the 180 square feet that will be offset on this property by installing an underground gravel pit that will be underneath the screened-in porch. The engineering department has looked over this mitigation plan as well and is supportive of the method. So similar stream buffer variances have been approved in the past when an appropriate mitigation method has been included. And then similar variance requests for the setback have been approved just down the street back in 2021 at 1145 Queensgate Drive. So there's a precedence for this type of variance in the immediate area as well. We have not received any type of communications in opposition to this request. So after reviewing the application, staff does support all 3 requests and does recommend your approval. We do have 3 stipulations on this one. The first, of course, is our standard. Approval is conditioned upon substantial compliance with the site plan and mitigation plan provided with the variance application. Number 2, a stormwater inspection and maintenance agreement shall be completed and recorded with the Cobb County Superior Court prior to issuance of the building permit. And number 3, a stormwater as-built certification statement shall be submitted to community development for approval prior to issuance of the certificate of completion. And just like the other ones with the buffers, I do have Clara Hodges here from the engineering department if you have questions about the mitigation method. And other than that, I can answer questions.
Has the mitigation plan been submitted?
Yes, it has been submitted and approved.
Okay.
That is
okay.
correct.
I don't see on the site plan where that flow well is going to be located.
It's actually going to be underneath the screened-in porch, so it's not showing on there. It is part of the elevations that were submitted, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, awesome.
Good question.
Yeah, was anybody injured in the investigation of this property?
Not that I'm aware of, but Clara may be able to confirm.
Okay, I just want to check on that.
All right.
Thank you, Ms. Crowe. Any questions for Ms. Crowe? Mr. Abdu, if you would please come to the microphone. How are you doing this morning?
Hey, doing well, thank you.
Good. If you would just state your name and your relationship to the property, please.
Yes, my name is Jason Abdo. I'm the owner of the property.
Awesome. Thank you for being here this morning.
Thank you.
You heard the background that Ms. Crowe provided. We've got 3 variances that we're going to be entertaining. We'll do those one at a time, as you've seen with the other 2 applicants. Oh, you don't have to sit down yet. Is there anything you'd like to add in relation to those background that she provided?
No, thank you.
Okay. All right. Do we have any questions for the owner? Okay. All right. Now you can sit down.
Appreciate it.
Sure. Ms. Hodges, could you step to the microphone, please? You've seen the mitigation plan?
Correct, I have.
I'm sorry. State your name for the,
Clara Hodges with the Engineering Department.
okay. You've seen the mitigation plan and you agree
Yes.
that this is,
Yes, it's
Okay.
a standard method of treatment, and it has been sized correctly.
all right, thank you. I did that because Mark's here and he would ask me later if I. All right. This is a public hearing. If there's anyone here who'd like to speak for or against V26-001, please do so at this time. Hearing none, we'll entertain a motion.
I motion to approve V26001, a variance request to allow encroachment into the city's 50-foot undisturbed stream buffer in land lot 458 at 1169 Queensgate Drive. Jason Abdu, the applicant.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. And we'll raise the right hand for approval. All in favor? That motion passes. Next item on the agenda is variance request V26-002, allow encroachment into the city's 75-foot impervious surface setback on land lot 458 at 1169 Queensgate Drive. Jason Abdu is the applicant. Ms. Crowe, is there any additional background that we need to hear on this variance request?
No, there's not.
Is there any questions that we have for Ms. Crowe related to this request?
Actually, I do have a question. So we're not requiring any fire retardant on this particular, on either of the particular setback issues. One of them is the eastern side, which I know is next door to something other than a house, correct?
That is correct. So when the chief building official reviewed this application, yes, that was the first thought, is because it is closer than 5 feet to the side property line, that there would be some fire retardant measures required. However, the neighboring property to the east, which is what is closer, is HOA property that has the stream directly through the middle. So the likelihood that any home in the future would be built is highly unlikely. Thus, because of that, he did waive any requirements for that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Abdu, you've heard the background that Ms. Crowe's provided. Any additional information you want to add on this request? Okay. All right. Any questions for the owner?
No.
This is a public hearing. If there's anyone here who'd like to speak for or against this request, please do so at this time. Hearing none, we'll entertain a motion.
I motion to approve V26-002, a variance request to allow encroachment into the city's 75-foot impervious surface setback in land lot 458 at 1169 Queensgate Drive. Jason Abdu, the applicant.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Please vote. No, ma'am, I still have waiting on my screen. By raising your right hand to approve, 3 approvals, that motion passes. Next item on the agenda is V26-003, reduce the eastern side setback from 5 feet to 4.5 feet on land lot 458 at 1169 Queensgate Drive. Jason Abdu is the applicant. Ms. Crowe, any additional information on this request?
Not at this time.
Any questions for Ms. Crowe related to this request?
No, she already answered my question related to that. Thank you.
Okay. You've heard the background that Ms. Crowe's provided. Is there any additional information that you'd like to provide? Okay. Well, let me tell you what I've done, is we've blown through two of these, and I haven't asked you a very important question, and I'm going to ask you on this third one. And I'm going to ask you to agree to this on all the stipulations that we have, or on all the variances that we have discussed to this point for your property. And those are the three conditions that Ms. Crowe discussed as far as the stormwater inspection and maintenance agreement, the as-built certification, and then you're going to do this according to the plans that you submitted. You agreed to those and retroactively agreed to them on the previous two variances. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Are there any questions for the owner?
No.
All right, hearing none, we will open the floor to public comment. If there's anyone here who'd like to speak for or against this request, please do so at this time. Hearing none, we'll entertain a motion.
I motion to approve V26-003, a variance request to reduce the eastern side setback from 5 feet to 4.5 feet in land lot 458 at 1169 Queensgate Drive. Jason Abdu, the applicant.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Please vote by raising your right hand in the approval. 3 in the affirmative. Thank you very much, sir. Next item on the agenda is variance request V25-004, increase the maximum allowable impervious surface area from 35% to 45.81% on land lot 556 at 3371 Pretty Branch Drive. Kevin Ramirez is the applicant. How bad did I blow that? All right. Ms. Crowe, could we get the background on that, please?
All right, thank you, Caitlin Crowe, Community Development. So this property, I should repeat that variance real quick. So this variance is V26-004 to increase the maximum allowable impervious surface area from 35% to 45.81%. So this property is almost half an acre on the east side of Pretty Branch Drive. And was actually built back in 2009 with a swimming pool permit done in 2015. So at the time, the pool was supposed to be just the pool, no decking included in that permit. However, the pool contractor at that time went outside the permit and did install quite a large deck around it that circled back to the house and did increase the impervious surface area back in 2015. So the current homeowner purchased the property in 2020, well after that pool was built, and has now applied to increase the roof that is over the patio, which also increases the impervious surface area just roughly about by 16 square feet. However, because that original pool contractor went above, any increase, including that 16 square feet, did need to bring or come forth in front of you to increase that impervious surface area. Again, it was pretty drastic back at that time in 2015 by over 2,000 square feet above the allowable impervious surface area. However, once the applicant was alerted to the violation, they did submit for this variance application, and here we are today. So because this originally happened in 2015 and there were no instances of any negative detrimental impacts to surrounding neighbors, and because it was under 100 square feet of new or replaced impervious surface area, no mitigation was required in order for the engineering department to support this request. Community development does feel that this is the minimum variance needed and that the impervious surface area is very in just a small way being increased, and thus the hardship to the current applicant is not self-created. So after reviewing this report, we do recommend your approval with just the following stipulation. This is our standard, that approval of the requested variance is conditioned upon substantial compliance with the site plan submitted with the variance application. And I can answer any questions, or again, I do have Clara Hodges still here from the engineering department.
Any questions for Ms. Crowe? Thank you very much. Mr. Ramirez, if you would step to the microphone, please. I can say Ramirez, I know I can.
Kevin
Too many
Ramirez.
crickets. It's funny when you sit up here, the things that your brain tells you. You heard the background that Ms. Crowe provided. Is there anything you'd like to add to that?
Oh, no, I think everything's good.
Okay. Are there any questions that we have for the owner?
I think you may have said this, but, so you were not the owner when the pool was initially constructed, correct?
I'm the contractor of the house, but yeah, the.
Oh, okay,
current
the
owner
contractor,
was the
okay.
owner at the moment.
Thank you.
All right, any other questions for the owner? Are you the owner of this house now, or you're still the you're the contractor? Okay, okay, just to clarify that, all right. All right, any other questions for Mr. Ramirez? Okay. Ms. Hodges, would you step up here, please? Just to make sure we're covering all our bases. You reviewed the mitigation plan and you agree?
So we are waiving mitigation due to the fact that only 16 square feet of impervious surface is being added here. The roof structure that's being added is, the vast majority of it is over already impervious surface. And so just the very edge of it is slightly over currently pervious surface. So
Okay.
that is why we have waived the
Great.
requirement.
Thank you. Okay. There is just the one stipulation with this, and that's building this as approved? Ms. Crowe, that's correct, and you agree to adhere to that? All right. Any other questions? All right, thank you very much. This is a public hearing. If there's anyone here who'd like to speak for or against this variance request, please do so at this time. Hearing none, we'll entertain a motion.
I motion to approve V26-004, a variance request to increase the maximum allowable impervious surface area from 35% to 45.81% in land lot 556 at 3371 Pretty Branch Drive. Kevin Ramirez is the applicant.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Please indicate your approval by raising your right hand. 3 in the affirmative. Thank you, sir. Appreciate your time today. The next item on the agenda will be 2 variance requests that we'll hear individually on, starting with V26-005, reduce the rear setback from 5 feet to 3.4 feet on land lot 381 at 637 Concord Lake Circle. Christopher Hambry is the applicant. Ms. Crowe, could we get the background on this, please?
Thank you. Caitlin Crowe, Community Development. So as you mentioned, there are 2 for this one. First being V26-005 to reduce the rear setback from 5 feet to 3.4 feet. And then our second today is V26-006 to increase the maximum impervious surface area from 45% to 56.9%. So this parcel is kind of on an interesting lot. It's located on the interior of Concord Lake Circle, so there is really very little space on the property outside of the home itself, just due to the configuration of the lot and the roads surrounding it. So the applicant is the contractor for this property, and the existing home already has a patio that's within the rear setback. Patios that are flush to the ground are not required to meet setback requirements. So when the house was originally built, that patio was added without the need for any type of variance. However, once they are building the walls and the roof to this for the screened-in porch, it is required to come forward with the building setback requirements. So because of that, they are looking to reduce that rear setback from 5 feet to 3.4 feet. Because that patio is already existing and they're using that same area, staff is supportive of the request. Additionally, we believe it was when the house was originally built, but the property itself is already over the maximum impervious surface area. So the stormwater ordinance does not differentiate between new or replaced impervious surface area. So because they are going to be screening in this area, we did require this variance to increase it from 45% to the 56.9. Again, we do believe that this occurrence happened when the home was originally built without the proper variances. However, because this home was built back in 2013 and there's no additional land disturbing activities, engineering has determined that no mitigation is required in order to support this variance. So because the patio is already there and we believe that it will not negatively impact neighboring properties, we do recommend approval of the 2 variances and do recommend it with the following 3 conditions. The first is our standard. Approval of the variances are conditioned upon substantial compliance with the site plan submitted with the variance application. Number 2, due to the proximity, this is to the rear property line, gutters and downspouts shall be installed to divert stormwater away from adjacent properties. Number 3, this also has to do with the closeness to the rear property line. Any portion of the western wall that encroaches closer than 5 feet to the rear property line must have a 1-hour rated wall or painted with fire retardant paint, or as deemed necessary by the chief building official. And I should mention as well, especially because we have our deputy fire chief here, is that the adjacent house is more than 10 feet from this property, and thus there's no fire suppression requirements needed. And with that, I can answer any questions.
The existing patio, or the patio was existing, so it was already over the
Over the setback?
setback, yes.
That is correct. When they're flush, they don't have to meet setback requirements, so
Okay.
it was legal conforming at that time as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that pad existed, now they're closing that in to put a screened-in porch, and that requires the setback.
That is correct.
Okay, okay. How is the impervious surface increasing if they're only building in that, or this is to account for?
Correct, yeah, because
Okay.
the stormwater ordinance, it doesn't care if it's new or replaced. In this case, we're considering it replaced, and so thus it has to come into conformance with our current code.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, you can't extend a non-conforming condition without bringing it to
Okay.
code.
All right. So is the build increasing that impervious amount, or we're just accounting for the impervious
That is
amount that's
correct. It
already?
is,
Okay,
yeah, it's
okay.
not increasing it, which is why we are not requiring mitigation as part of this.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right,
that is
excellent.
correct.
Thank you. Any questions, Ms. Craft?
No, you did answer my question. 10 feet for the exposure?
That is correct, yes. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very
Okay,
much.
thank you.
Mr. Hambry present? I was hoping that was you. Good, how are you doing?
Doing well.
If you would, state your name and your relation to the property.
Christopher Hembry, I'm with authorized agent for the contractor.
Thank you very much. You heard the background that Ms. Crow provided. Is there anything that you'd like to add to that?
No, sir, everything sounded good to me.
Okay. Do we have any questions for the contractor? There are 3 stipulations that Ms. Crow mentioned in relation to this property. You agree to adhere to those?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Feel free to have a seat. Just a second, we'll get right back to you. This is a public hearing. If there's anyone who'd like to speak for or against this variance request, please do so at this time. Hearing none, we'll entertain a motion.
I motion to approve V26-005, a variance request to reduce the rear setback from 5 feet to 3.4 feet in land lot 381 at 637 Concord Lake Circle. Christopher Hembry, the applicant.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Please raise your right hand in approval. Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is variance request V26-006, increase the maximum impervious surface area from 45% to 56.9% on land lot 381 at 637 Concord Lake Circle. Christopher Hambry is the contractor and applicant. Ms. Crow, is there any additional information we need to hear on this request?
Not at this time.
Any questions for Ms. Crow related to this variance request?
No.
As contractor, do you have any additional information you want to supply related to this variance request? Okay. The 3 conditions that applied to the first apply to the second. You agree to adhere to those? Okay. Any questions for the contractor?
No.
This is a public hearing. If there's anyone here who'd like to speak for or against this request, please do so at this time. Hearing none, we'll entertain a motion.
I motion to approve V26-006, a variance request to increase the maximum impervious surface area from 45% to 56.9% in land lot 381 at 637 Concord Lake Circle.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Please raise your right hand in approval. Motion carries. Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate it. Last item on the agenda is approval of the December 10th, 2025 License and Variance Board meeting minutes. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Please raise your right hand to approve. That motion carries unanimously. Is there any other business that needs to come before the License and Variance Board this morning? Hearing none, we'll adjourn.